Okay, in this video we're going to talk about pie charts. So I've got two pie charts sitting there. One has 10 sections in it and one has 20 sections in it, or segments. We sometimes call them segments. So I like to think of a pie chart like a pizza, and that helps me when I'm trying to visualize the fractions and what fraction each segment represents. So in the first one, if you count the sections or the pizza slices, there are 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each section represents 1/10 or 10%. You've already learnt your percentages, so you should know that 1/10 is the same as 10 over 100, so that's 10%. So if I shaded one section in, and I asked you to find the amount, I would need to know what the total amount was first. So just say this pie chart represented 400 people. I would just find 1/10 of 400, which is 400 divided by 10, which would be 40 people. So if this pie chart represented 400 people, this one segment would represent 1/10 of that, which is 40. Looking at the next one, there are 20 sections here. So that fraction would be 1/20th, which is the same as 5%. So if I was to shade one section here, that would be equivalent to 1/20th of the total. So again, if you know what the total number is, for one section you would just divide that by 20 to find 1/20th. Okay, moving on to the example that I put in the notes. It was talking about people's favourite holidays. Okay, and there was 50 people in total. And you're asked what one segment would represent how many people. So there are 10 parts here if you count all the individual sections. Okay, there are 10 segments on this pie chart. So to find one segment, you would just do 50 divided by 10, which is 5 people. So one segment represents 5 people. Spain, you were asked what fraction of people chose Spain. So Spain is the red section, and hopefully you can see there's 3 segments there. So 3/10 is the fraction of people that chose Spain. America, I asked how many people chose America, not just what fraction. But before we can find the amount of people, we need to know the fraction. So the fraction's 4/10. It's 4/10 because there's 4 segments that are green over here that represent America. So what you do is you do 4/10 of 50. So we divide 50 by 10 to get 5, and then times that by 4 to give us 20 people. So 20 people chose America. For France, I asked what percentage chose France. It's hard to see in my diagram here, but France is the purple section and there's 2 parts to it there. Okay, so France is 2/10, but we're asked the percent of people. So 2/10 is equivalent to 20 over 100. You just multiply both parts by 10 to convert it into a percentage. So that represents 20%. Okay, so before you start pie charts, just always check the total amount of segments, and you will use fractions when you're doing your questions. Okay, hope that helps.